What up, y'all? Today, we're going to talk about sex with the narcissist. Gotta do it. We're going in. Here we go. So there's going to be about 9 signs that you're having sex with a narcissist. Hopefully, you're not dating a narcissist, but it wouldn't be like just like 1 or 2 of these things, but there'll be more than 2, like like at least 3 or 4 of them. The first one is, well, it could be either which way, where they want it quite often, like all the time, or it could be like they have a high libido or high sex drive, or they could be almost like not at all. So there's like different types of narcissists. You have the somatic narcissist, which is highly sexual. I mean, they are out there, and one of their main things, this is the Jezebel. They're going to be, and it could be a male or female, but typically, and they're going to be all about the sex. The sex is like the main piece with them. But so then you also have the cerebral, which is a narcissist, where they're all like they will totally destroy you in that, with the psychological stuff. I have never met a cerebral, but from what I hear, they don't really like to have sex, almost like asexual or something. So the first sign is either a lot or none at all. Number 2 is it feels robotic when you are dating a narcissist. This is something you may not notice it like right away, but eventually it'll hit you that if you're truly dating a narcissist, that it will feel robotic. Like you're just like, it's just like a piece of equipment or something. I don't know what to say. It's weirdest thing in the world. What they say is it's like the lesser narcissist and the lower mid-range narcissist will, they say in like the higher mid-range, the upper mid-range level, the greater, and the ultra narcissist type, they're going to be able to mimic good sex to where it doesn't seem robotic, but a lot of times the lesser and the mid-range can't fake it. It's the weirdest thing, but you're talking about somebody that has no empathy. And if you can't feel love and there's no connection, remember we always say that they link up to you, latch onto you, they cord to you, like soul tied to you, they're corded onto you, they're piped in, they're plugged in, but they're not in love. They don't love. They have the inability to love. And so this is why I'm bringing this up. Other than that, I really didn't want to do this one, but I knew that it's going to help some people that are trying to determine, not just from a personality standpoint, but other sectors like sex. And these are things that are going to kind of come in as ruling factors for some people. So you got to go over the whole gamut. And there's other reasons. Sometimes when they don't have sex with you, for instance, in point number 1, it may be because it's a control issue. They're trying to gain control over you, assert control and power over you. So that's how sex is used, is the number 1 controlling factor from a narcissist to an empath or to a normie individual. So I mean, this is how they gain control. This is how they gain access to you in other ways. You're talking about trust, and then they hijack your emotions, and so you got to be careful. Point number three is going to be no birth control. They don't wrap up. They don't care. They'll just, it could be a one night stand. It could, I'm not talking about somebody that you regularly have sex with that you're familiar with, you've been tested or whatever. This is somebody who you don't even know, a random, and they would go out and have random sex and just not use birth control or not wrap up or whatever. And they don't do it because they feel entitled, and they feel like gods, right? And they feel like they make the best decisions. This is how they feel. I mean, inside, this is the psychological part of it. Although we know they make the worst decisions, but in their crazy head, their delusional, demonic, constructed mind, this is how they believe. And other reasons to point number three with no birth control or no wrapping up, whatever, in the male or the female. So the female, if they're the narcissist, they may want to get pregnant by you if you're going to be a potential or primary supply. During the golden age, right away they want to get married, right? Well, during the golden age or the love bomb phase, the first cycle, they want to marry you right away. They always say that, and they mean it. After you get into different cycles, it may become a future fake, but not in cycle one. And I also know this because I got married through one of these real quick, and it was a bad idea because I had to deal with her for 10 years. But anyway, the thing about this, they want to get pregnant by you, or for the male, they may want to get you pregnant so that they can lock you down. So the ways that the narcissist locks you down is if they can get you pregnant or get pregnant by you, number one. And number two is financially. Either get you in debt, or get you to buy a house with them, screw your credit up, so you're stuck with them. I mean, like, just all kinds of different things. But typically those are the two major pieces that bind the narcissist to you and you to the narcissist. Number four, so their mind is not there. It's kind of like they're having sex with you, but they're not doing it because it's an equal agreement. And, going into this particular instance, the normie or the empath, I call the normies people who aren't empaths. So the normies are the normies. They just, whatever. And then there's the empaths, which are the usually the suppliers. So they typically, they're doing it for you in this instance. So they're doing it to gain power and control, but they're not into it. So they're just not even there. They're like tuned out. And a narcissist can tune out because they're like brain dead. A lot of times, if you look at a narcissist while they're when they're not paying attention, you're looking at them, they look just brain dead. They're hollow inside and there's nothing there. And unless the devil inside of them is trying to get some kind of something accomplished at that moment in time, they're like a robot, man, with no brain. Next is number 5. So this hasn't happened to me, but this is stuff that I hear all the time, is you're made to do things sexually that you don't want to do. So I would say that probably pertains more to the man narcissist and I'm guessing the male narcissist and the female normie or empath. More typically, I would say, because a male narcissist is going to be more aggressive than a female narcissist in these categories. I'm guessing, I never had that stuff happen. Nobody's ever come at me to do something I didn't want to do. Actually, maybe. Anyway, so keep that in mind. Number 6, intimacy happens very quickly. And I've talked about this, man. It is so fast, man. It's like it's like a dinner date sex. I mean, first, you know, just in the early introductions, it's probably the fastest that you'll ever see is the fastest sex you'll ever have is with a narcissist. I'd guarantee it, because a normie or an empath won't have sex with you that quick. And it's also to gain control, man, because they know this is the number one way to gain control and trust. And for them to gain control, they need your trust. And for them to hijack you emotionally, sex has got to be part of it. The somatic, the Jezebel, the male or the female, the effeminate male, narcissist. Number 7, they don't climax. They say that the narcissist, and I've seen stuff like, I've seen this, but the narcissist just won't climax. And it's just because they're not doing it a lot of times for love and intimacy. They're not doing it for they have no attachment. That's why they can link up to you, latch onto you, and then just leave you and be with somebody else tomorrow and not even care, because they can't love, they just can't feel it. And so they don't climax. But what they say is when it comes to some narcissists, especially the cerebral, that they say they'll go off, after you're done having sex, and then they'll like ejaculate or something, because they don't want to give you the power and control, and they feel like that's what they're doing if they climax with you. It's the weirdest thing. That's why I always say these people are not humanity. They're not. And anybody that's been with a narcissist will tell you this. Well, I'll say this. They should. If you've been with one for a long period of time, and they and you're keen, at least to some degree. Number 8, it feels like a performance. So when it comes to the somatic narcissist, they are more into the performance of the sex than the sex. See, if you talk to a lot of narcissists, are not really, as much as they have sex, they're not having sex for the pleasure of it. They're having sex for control and the power and the fuel that they gain from it. See, when you're having sex with a narcissist, like I said, when you're reactive abuse, when they get you to react instead of respond, you open up like a clam, and then they switch energy with you. It's called reactive abuse. They get you to react, and you're wearing your emotions on your shoulders, and you react instead of responding. You open up, and they switch energy with you, and then you get all their negative, bad energy, their sin soul energy, I call it, and they take all your good soul energy, and you feel like them, and they feel like you, and they walk off smiling, and you're crying because you're dealing with like their sin and stuff. It's like you forgave their sins or something. But anyway, the same thing with this. They drain your fuel. They take all your energy, because when you have sex, you're wide open as well. So those are like the 2 places that you're going to be wide open. And if you're emotionally crying or something. So it feels like a performance, because with the somatic narcissist, they just want to be like a porn star. So they feel like they're the best sexual partner in the world, and they want to act like it. And for them, it's the whole performing of it. So they're watching you have sex with them. They're looking into your eyes and stuff, and looking at you like, they're looking at you like, and they're thinking to themselves like, oh, I'm the best sexual partner in the world. That's how they are. And this is like textbook stuff, man. So 9, you'll have this too. After you have sex, they'll like almost like they'll turn their back to you after, as if nothing happened, as if nothing just happened. It's just like, they do it for different things. They do it to satisfy you for control and power, and they do it as a performance to fuel them. It fuels them. It gives them supply. And they all of these things are just for power and control and supply fuel. But they may do this. They do this. This is the number one way of seduction for the narcissist. So this is how they gain control and drain fuel. The somatic and the cerebral. So the somatic is going to be huge in performance, and they're going to want to have sex a lot. And the histrionic will as well. But the cerebral is going to be more non-sexual, asexual. And but they typically both do it because of different things, regardless of the intimacy of it, because they cannot be intimate. They do it to, number one reason is to assert control. Then that is the number one reason for punishment, is to hold back and that sort of thing. And they do it to bind you to them, right? So that way they can hijack your, your emotional, abilities, and then they can hijack your mind, will, and emotions. And then you become an extension of them, because they don't love, they attach, they link up, and they cord to you, they pipe up. And for us, we attach like intimate, on an intimate level. And so they're not human anymore. They're like a shell of a man or a woman. And and if they do it, they're doing it, they may be doing it just for the feeling. So just the rubbing, man, like somebody said, when you're having sex with narcissists, somebody said online that it's like you're their dildo. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. I hope this doesn't make me lose any subscribers. Please give me a break here. I don't even want to do this, but I feel like we have to. Anyway, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, and a subscription. I love y'all. That's all for today. It's enough, right? Peace out, stand tall, soldier up. We out. Peace.